Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. We'll be discussing Ripple and XRP today, along with the rest of the cryptocurrency and financial markets. How about we get right in and begin with this tweet from a few days ago? According to Gary Gensler, the United States has no need for additional digital currency because it already has the dollar. It's funny because if you go back in time approximately 2 years, to July 16, 2021, this all happened. The following is directly from the Fed and explains why they despise cryptocurrencies and stablecoins in particular. According to CNBC, if this is the case, there is no need for stablecoins. If the United States had a digital currency, cryptocurrencies would be unnecessary. That's Jerome Powell talking. That's definitely one of the more compelling reasons in its favor. An intriguing aspect of this is the impending arrival of a digital dollar. So, I guess the key question is it likely that privacy and authority issues will arise to a significant degree? Because we've discussed even the digital euro, right? And for a long time, whenever we do talk about CBDCs on this channel, and even myself, I've said it time and time again that it's warranted to have a lot of concerns around these CBDCs on whether or not we will have our privacy retained, whether or not we will be able to, go about business as we do now. Like what's going to happen with this? Limitations, restrictions. The big bet on CBDCs is that we have a central bank digital currency system in which there are no limits, no one is checking into your transactions, and your privacy is still protected. However, I see a lot of issues with this. And you can conduct business however you like without interference. That wager, though, is a massive one. And we're relying heavily on the central bankers to not, impose those constraints or monitor your dealings. Furthermore, I wonder if we can put any faith in the central bankers. Still, I believe it is highly advantageous to have major entities like Ripple and Stellar participating in and assisting the CBDCs, or at least providing perspective on the CBDCs. The topic of whether or not we can trust Ripple is raised. Can we have faith in Stellar? In addition, I believe that we have spent a considerable amount of time investigating the market participants surrounding Ripple and Stellar, as well as many of these other firms that are ostensibly developing CBDCs or offering solutions for them. Furthermore, I believe it is highly advantageous to have private companies tied to these, as opposed to having central bankers create these central bank digital currencies on their own, and I would argue that we can technically trust a large number of these private players. However, we have no idea how these digital currencies issued by national central banks would function in practice. CoinDesk also contributed with a blog article. Header presented at Consensus 2023, warning that the risks of governmental exploitation could outweigh the economic benefits of CBDCs. A total of 28% of respondents said they didn't believe a surveillance-free, privacy-protecting CBDC was conceivable. Technically, 61% of respondents said yes, while 39% said no. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, the CBDC isn't a replacement for a centrally issued digital currency. The United States serves as an example for you, right? What is preventing the United States from using USDC as a digital stablecoin? That, essentially, might stand in for the digital dollar. The only problem that central bankers have with stablecoins is that they can't exert complete control over them. Isn't that the gist of it? Everything revolves around CBDCs as a kind of control, which is, once again, the largest cause for concern. To me, it's important to worry about CBDCs, because, if we have them, there's nothing stopping them from eliminating fiat currency. It seems like fiat currency is being phased out gradually at this point. There will always be a need for the dollar. The euro is here to stay. There is no end in sight for these fiat currencies. But the issue remains, how long will paper money last? Moreover, I don't think that will happen. Therefore, we need a currency in which we can have faith that our privacy would be protected. Technically, they could even monitor your fiat currency transactions now. Nothing would prevent them from acting in this manner. Nothing prevents them from investigating your financial records as well. Do we even have any kind of personal space here? We should also be asking ourselves a number of profound questions. However, I believe that players like Ripple, offering a platform is extremely important because, again, I do believe that big names like Ripple, and particularly with the use of XRP, is crucial because this is decentralized by design. The underlying private ledger technology will remain the same, but XRP will remain decentralized. As always, XRP is welcome. And here we see David Schwartz discussing CBDCs. One of the largest use cases out there, especially surrounding any digital currency, is the CBDC platform's ability to communicate with the XRP ledger and use XRP as a bridge currency for cross-currency and cross-border payments. Is it the sole application of XRP? Is this the only thing that could make XRP worthwhile? No way, no how. And, in all candor, is on-demand liquidity going to create a lot of value for XRP? In a nutshell, no. On-demand liquidity, however, appears to represent a floor for XRP, much as the 50 to 60 cents range that XRP maintained even during the last large slump in this market. XRP wasn't really trembling at all. It's not all up from here, as we have a look at on-demand liquidity and as we do see a lot more adoption for on-demand liquidity, which stabilizes the floor as the price of XRP rises. But what I'm saying is that on-demand liquidity creates a solid foundation for XRP, and that the combination of retail investors buying and selling XRP and institutional investors doing the same will cause the price to level off and eventually rise, which is why I believe XRP will be so valuable in the future. The great thing about on-demand liquidity, though, is that there is never a loser involved. Only the victorious survive, as they say. That means it won't cause XRP's price to explode. However, I do believe that on-demand liquidity provides for a much stable price of XRP, since it opens the market to ordinary investors who may purchase and sell XRP, driving the price even higher. It will be quite useful. Funny thing is, Ripple seems to be involved in just about every single one of these big CBDC conversations now that we take a look at the digital foundation. Here, Claire Convoy is this week's Money 2020 guest. My apologies. Convoy talked with Tiana Baker, who was joined by Ripple, and Susan Friedman. Taylor, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I highly doubt it. In all likelihood, I'm butchering them. Get in a circle to debate where CBDCs are going and how to answer some of the key challenges facing the industry. The document discussed the long-term goals of the CBDCs roadmap. And as we can see, I found the CBDC conversation with Susan and Tiana to be really interesting. It's helpful to hear other people's perspectives, and it was heartening to find that we can all agree that this is a lengthy trip with many unanswered concerns and difficult obstacles to conquer before the public can trust us. The evolution of CBDC research must occur in tandem with the promotion of self-assurance and education. The future of finance and the future of what you will be using as a payment source is crucial, and while I agree that some of these CBDCs are still years and years away, I think that it is very beneficial to talk about where we are headed and discuss, these ideas and concerns. Furthermore, knowing our ultimate destination is crucial. The vast majority of people have no idea what a digital currency issued by a central bank even is. I brought up groups of friends and acquaintances as a metaphor for a central bank and digital currency many times before. Holy crap, that's weird. There is still a lot of ignorance about digital currencies backed by governments. Even more amusing is the fact that we've been discussing them for years. But also here, the reason why these values, because I said this in a video, I'm guessing a couple of months ago now, and I seen somebody come on the video, they were like $213 billion. This figure may not sound like much, but it comes from a study by Juniper Research that predicts the global value of CBDCs would increase from $100 million in 2018 to $213 billion in 2030. Many individuals don't really understand what's going on. In their minds, that was hardly a substantial sum of money. Adoption of CBDCs will be gradual at initially because, once again, many people simply won't trust them. Personally, I'm more of an XRP crypto wolf type. Ripple and XRP Ledger CBDCs are the only ones I'll be able to trust. This is a fact, as you well know. For this reason, it is indeed true. Having private parties and actors involved is essential, in my opinion, since total anarchy would ensue if central bankers were responsible for developing CBDCs and CBDC platforms on their own. There will be no leeway or freedom of any kind. This will be a major issue. Ripple, as you may be aware. In my opinion, Ripple is supporting the people. Yes, I do. That's how much faith and trust in Ripple I have. And I'm aware that it's possible it could backfire. However, I believe that the private sector is here to serve the public. I believe their goal is to develop innovative solutions like the CBDC platform. And I expect XRP to play a role there as well. I know I've said this a lot, but I really do believe that these valuations are low since adoption will be challenging at first. It will be challenging to promote these at first. It's also a ways off since, a lot of study and development in technology goes into something like this. Major CBDCs won't be sent out for several few years at least. However, I believe they are occurring in the present. The majority of the population supports CBDCs. Therefore, I believe that our financial system and the financial tools we use will undergo significant change over the next few years, if not the next decade. So, I overheard them cite it. This reminds me of an article by James Wallace on the potential of CBDCs, or central bank digital currency. Once more, we know that Ripple is involved in numerous CBDCs already. In Brazil, for instance, the government is preparing to introduce a CBDC in 2024. A CBDC pilot project involving the Central Bank of Montenegro and Ripple was been revealed. Job listings on the Bank of England's website with relevant titles suggest that development of the digital pound is progressing. In a recent speech, Bank of England Governor Sir John Cunliffe said that work on a new central bank real-time payment system is well underway. This system will serve as the central rail of the current UK payments infrastructure, which, by the way, according to a number of PDFs I've been able to locate, has a strong connection to Ripple. I suppose Ripple is also a major player in CBDCs in the United Kingdom. The Digital Pound Foundation is a think tank, but they are a major force in the industry all the same. However, they also make reference to the UMU, the global currency. This comes from the International Monetary Fund, IMF, but the Authority on Digital Currency. However, the European Union Parliament has just approved the first EU legislation to track crypto asset movements, stop money laundering, and establish uniform standards for consumer protection. Markets for crypto assets in the EU now have a standardized legal framework thanks to the new laws. In light of this, I believe that digital currencies are unquestionably the way of the future. Again, there are a lot of concerns around such things as tracking and tracing transactions, your privacy limitations, and so on, so I'm hoping that CBDCs are not as terrible as we have been talking over them. So, I'm crossing my fingers that our perception of their darkness is exaggerated. However, I believe that projects associated with well-known brands like Ripple have the potential to significantly improve people's lives. While I agree that a wholesale CBDC is unquestionably necessary, I wonder if we really need one at the retail level. However, you should be aware that if we do acquire a wholesale CBDC, we will almost certainly acquire a retail CBDC as well. But over here, Anthony Welfare explains how Hong Kong aims to use Ripple CBDC technology and the XRP ledger to test its digital dollar in the $229 billion mortgage market. The HMA project we're working on deserves more attention. Fubon Bank of Hong Kong and Ripple, a provider of blockchain solutions, are two of the pilot participants who will be looking into the OECD's application in home mortgages, which made for 1/5 of the banking industry's loan book in April. Online and in-person HKD e-wallet loans to homebuyers will be investigated as part of the trial study. According to those involved in the pilot program, the project's ultimate goal is to convert paper deeds into digital tokens on the blockchain, creating a verifiable and central record of ownership that can be used in the loan approval process. Really, this matters a lot. Once again, real estate is a massive industry and field of study. I believe this is fantastic, and it gives you a taste of how many applications may be built on top of this type of technology, especially the XRP ledger. As I've already mentioned, the XRP ledger and XRP are integral to virtually every one of Ripple's blockchain-based activities. This is monumental, because it extends the digital tokenization concept in interesting ways. This strikes me as a tremendous step forward. Along with this, we noticed that Anderson posted a little blurb about Ripple, Hong Kong, and a pilot told in a series of 3 images. The year 2019 is being revisited for this. To provide a visual, please meet Christine Lagarde. There is no mention of her. There are a lot of additional participants as well. Here it is. Hong Kong Monetary Authority Chief Executive Norman Chan. Naturally, it's Brad Garlinghouse. Future possibilities of CBDC in the global monetary system are shown on the following slide. Tokenization will be demonstrated via a pilot program utilizing the new CBDC platform, as shown on the final slide, which features Norman, Chief Executive of the Hong Kong Monetary Authority. The Hong Kong Monetary Authority is considering retail CBDC applications for Ripple's new product, including the sale of tokenized real estate. An extremely novel idea, really. Yes, I did say international property. It's a $300 trillion industry. In the future, I anticipate having everything recorded on the blockchain. Real estate seems to be a major focus for major firms like Ripple and Hedera. There are, well, a couple more, too. However, I anticipate a significant influx of capital into this market over the course of the next few years. This is unquestionably an event to keep an eye on. I also saw that Ripple updated the CBDC section of their solutions menu. For this reason, CBDCs and stablecoins are no longer listed as options for solving the problem of international transactions using digital currencies when you visit their website. Just digital currencies issued by governments. And now we have cheaper prices and faster payments. Digital currency is the way of the future. There's little doubt that the Ripple Central Bank digital currency platform provides a full suite of services, including the creation, administration, exchange, and destruction of CBDCs and stablecoins. All of this rests on a separate copy of the XRP blockchain. And, yeah, I think it's quite neat that they altered that. Because digital technology is where we're headed, I thought I'd quickly review that. A system will be required, in my opinion, to fully bridge nearly all of these instruments surrounding financial technology. I'm referring to CBD. A stablecoin. Instead, I meant to say digital assets, or more specifically, tokenized valuations, which is what we mean when we discuss the new digital tokens around things like deed records or even just about anything else. Consider that these deals and agreements must be made and finalized. And what more efficient method to connect all of them than with XRP? A lot rides on this. Looking more closely at the situation, we see that the XRP ledger ecosystem is bustling with activity, much of it revolving around Ripple's work with and development of stablecoins and CBDCs tokenized assets. The scope of this study is enormous. I do believe that the atmosphere surrounding cryptocurrency will shift significantly over the next few years. These pieces have been appearing for quite some time. I thought it would be funny to include this piece because of all the chatter about how people like Jerome Powell and Gary Gensler don't need crypto and therefore don't need this or that. Gary Gensler is an absolute idiot for even mentioning the infrastructure surrounding digital currency. We're all aware that digital currencies and payments exist. However, it has serious flaws. When you make a purchase with a debit card, the money doesn't immediately transfer. Credit card transactions do not immediately settle when using the Venmo Cash App or any of the other digital apps revolving around payments. This is true even for PayPal. Clearly, there are numerous issues at play. There is a great deal of misunderstanding. However, in my opinion, the vast majority of people will read this and agree with him. There is no need for cryptocurrency, additional digital currencies, or paper money at this time. What's the point, really? It's the same deal as in the Jerome Powell case. Stablecoins, as an example, would be superfluous. If the United States had its own digital currency, we could do away with cryptocurrencies. The question now is how that will be settled in terms of all these non-US currencies. I mean, how is that going to work out with all of these other financial instruments? It's not only crypto and DLT rails, blockchain technology is present in every file associated with a US CBDC. These are, once again, the methods they use to control the populace at large. When discussing CBDCs and stablecoins, as well as all other similar projects, the future of tokenization is always brought up. Indeed, tokenization persists. Tokenization is a hot topic, with virtually every major participant in the financial industry discussing it. What's the reason? Because of the overall benefits it brings to the table. Blockchain technology is essential for all of this. So, with that disclaimer out of the way, I sincerely hope you found this video entertaining. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.